know the color of that blood. It is arterial blood. This blood is my death warrant. Oh, my dearest girl, what shall we do now? Wake up, Mr. John Keats. Accept your fate. Bid your girl farewell and join your family. You were never made for happiness. I confess I have never known any unalloyed happiness for many days together. Except for you, my darling Fanny. Except for you. We weren't always so endeared to each other, were we? Quite the contrary, in fact. Enough of these vague ramblings. Shall I now give you Miss Fanny Braun? Well, she is about my height, with a fine style of countenance of the lengthened sort. She wants sentiment in every feature. She manages to make her hair look well. Her nostrils are fine, though a little painful. Her mouth is bad and good. Her profile is better than her full face, which indeed is not full, but pale and thin, without showing any bone. Her shape is very graceful, and so are her movements. Her arms are good, her hands baddish, her feet tolerable. She is not 17, but she is ignorant. Monstrous in her behavior, flying out in all directions, calling people such names that I was forced lately to make use of the term minx. But this is, I think, not from any innate vice, but from a penchant she has for acting stylishly. I am, however, tired of such style, and shall decline any more of it. The portrait I just gave you isn't entirely accurate. It came from a letter I sent to my brother George and his wife Georgiana in America, December 1818. Fanny and I had just met several months earlier. Our first meeting could not have been more dissimilar to Romeo and Juliet's. Her first words to me?
Hello, Mr. John Keats. You're quite the little poet now, aren't you?
You might as well say Bonaparte is quite the little soldier. You see what it is to be under 6 foot and not a lord. Over the subsequent months we occasionally met. We would have little tiffs now and then, after which she would behave a little better. But I had no great affection for her. Her sincere inquiries into my poetry and into my brother Tom's health was what brought about the beginning of these warm feelings. And what attracted her to me, she said, was my passion, intensity, and ability to have a serious conversation about real things. More than a year has passed, and even now I fear to spend long gazing at her, that she may look and see how desperate I am for her. She knows the depth of my feelings, yet I struggle to find new ways to say it. I want a brighter word than bright, a fairer word than fair. I have it! I wish Fanny and I were butterflies and lived but 3 summer days. 3 such days with her I could fill with more delight than 50 common years could ever contain. Do you recall when you first fell in love? I have longed for love, yet I abhor it when it comes, because the fates threaten to steal my happiness with Fanny away. For they previously finished with my family a year ago when my brother Tom was cut down by the family disease, consumption. Before that, our granny good. But the first time death visited us, it was to take father. When George and I were 7 and 8, we attended John Clark's school at Enfield, and father and mother visited regularly, often with the young ones. and we loved their visits, but hardly missed them when they left. Our schoolwork, along with our friends, which included Mr. Clark's son Charles, kept us occupied. One day, Father surprised us with a visit. Father, do you have any treaties, Father? Sweeties? Don't tickle, Father, I have been good. I have not been fighting George. No, you've been naughty. George has been the naughty boy, Father. Sorry. Oh, yes, Father. Oh, thank you, Father. Thank you. It's good, isn't it, George? Excuse me, Mr. Clark. Come along, Father, come along. Now this is where all us boys play together, but it is also where the Keats brothers fought the dragon. Oh, Father! Oh, I am toughened up. Oh no, Father, don't kiss me. George, help, Father's kissing me again. Oh, get Father, George. I'll save you, George! Come on, George. Oh! Father! I'm sorry, I did not mean to push you into the lake! Oh no, Father! Father, I'm sorry! Ah! Yes, Father, the lake is refreshing. Stop laughing at me, George! I can't hold George, Father! All right, Father. Stop squirming, George, you're going in! On the count of 3. All right. 1, 2... 3! George is all wet! I will always remember that wonderful day. Father was thrown from his horse and killed that evening. I don't recall any other memories of him. There are images and such, but pity. I would have liked to be better acquainted. He was only 30. Thomas Keats was buried on the 23rd of April, 1804, in the family vault of St. Stephen's Church. The great misfortune of my life has been that from infancy I had no mother. In truth, I was 15 when she died, yet I have almost no recollection of her. She was loving and present in the beginning. I only wished she had remained so after Father's death. I have learned to fill the void left from my parents' deaths with various friendships. Charles Cowden Clark was one such friend. Being older, more educated, and better read, he was the ideal person to expound on all the latest political and artistic thoughts. Thanks to him and all the books we read, my mind was cultivated, challenged, and broadened. I think it is fair to say my first good poem came from one of our visits. It occurred 4 years ago during my medical apprenticeship at Guy's Hospital. Charles had recently informed me of his latest acquisition, George Chapman's translations of Homer, printed in 1616. He had proclaimed it to be the greatest translation of the Greeks that ever was and ever will be. And now the time had arrived for me to be introduced to this masterpiece. So I completed my duties at the hospital with haste, all the while keeping a watchful eye out for Dr. Lucas, who often assigned extra work and shifts for the weekends. Close. That was close. Good afternoon, Charles! How are you, my friend? Intolerable. I have been unable to think of anything else all day. No thanks, I'm not hungry. Yes, I suppose it is a lovely evening. No, Charles, I do not want tea. I want this book you have been speaking of. Where is the book, Charles? Is this the book? The east and south winds jostled in the air. The violent zephyr and north-making fair rolled up the waves before them, and then bent Ulysses' knees. Then all his spirit was spent, in which despair he thus spake, "Woe is me! What was I born to, man of misery?" Yes, Charles! Oh. Seem to have got a little carried away. Yes, I'm all right, Charles. Oh, but Charles, I cannot imagine love itself leaving me with the feeling I have now. Oh, I feel like a thirsty man gulping down water. But that book, those pages, are my life-giving nourishment. Yes, I see that now, Charles. Charles, tell me it isn't so. Is it morning already? Have we been reading all night? No thanks, Charles, I can't stay. Charles, I could not sleep now if I tried. A nice, long walk home will allow me to settle down and to process this masterwork. No, I shall be fine, Charles, thank you very much. Good night. Good morning, in fact. Good morning. Woo! Wait. What do I have? Let's see. Oh, what a lovely morning. And the stars are still up, but that one's not a star. That's a planet. A planet. I must use that image. Oh, I'm at home already. Great Apollo, let me not forget the words. There, finished, except for not low-browed, deep-browed Homer. Much have I travelled in the realms of gold, and many goodly states and kingdoms seen. Round many western islands have I been, which bards in fealty to Apollo hold. Oft of one wide expanse had I been told that deep-browed Homer ruled as his demesne. Yet did I never breathe its pure serene, till I heard Chapman speak out loud and bold. Then felt I like some watcher of the skies when a new planet swims into his ken, or like stout Cortez when with eagle eyes he stared at the Pacific, and all his men looked at each other with a wild surmise, silent upon a peak in Darien. I shall send this to Charles, and it shall be a token of thanks for the previous evening. And if I send it now, he shall have it for breakfast. In no period of my life have I acted with any self-will but in throwing up the apothecary profession. The decision to embark on this occupation was similarly of my own doing, though not without some encouragement from our granny good, Grandma Jennings, Thomas Hammond, my mother's physician, and Richard Abbey, our guardian. In addition, our granny good was old, and soon the responsibility of caring for Tom, George, and Fanny, my brothers and sister, would rest on me. Thus, when I was 15, I completed my schooling and began a 5-year apprenticeship under Dr. Hammond, to be followed by an additional year of training in the principles and practice of surgery at Guy's Hospital. I had the good fortune to be acquainted with the senior surgeon, Astley Cooper, the most famous and brilliant physician in all of Great Britain. His lectures were an absolute joy, simultaneously informative and entertaining. Gentlemen, an old Scotch physician used to say to me, he said, "Well, Mr. Cooper, we have only 2 things to keep in mind in their service for here and hereafter. One is always to have the fear of the Lord before our eye, and that will do for hereafter. And t'other is to keep our bowels open, and that will do for here." More is required than them 2 things, gentlemen. A sergeant must have an eagle's eye, a lady's hand, and a lion's heart. Dr. Cooper possessed all of these in abundance, and for a time there was a chance I could be assigned dresser to Dr. Cooper himself. Regrettably, I was assigned to Dr. William Lucas instead. I do not suppose I can solely blame the damned blockhead Lucas for my leaving the medical profession, but I wonder how it would have been if I had been assigned to Dr. Cooper instead. Hello, Joe. How are you feeling, my boy? Well, you are tied down because we must remove your arm. Joe, listen. All has been done to save your arm, but now it must come off or it shall take your life, Joe. It shall take your life. We will be quick and you will feel much, much better after. And then I will return you to your room and nurse you back to health myself. All right? Dr. Lucas? An amputation, sir. An amputation, sir. The boy was thrown from a gig while going downhill, and his arm was crushed by the wheel, and now the infection has spread. Yes, sir. Dr. Lucas, are you well? Are you well? Well, your hand is trembling. It will be no trouble to find another physician to operate. Yes, sir. All right, ready, Joe? Keep your eyes shut and do not look at your arm. What? It's not me, it's Joe! The boy you're cutting? Just a little longer, Joe. Stay strong. Yes, Dr. Lucas? You need to cut higher. Why did you not notice the infection had spread before you put the blade in, sir? Yes, sir. Keep your eyes shut, Joe, and do not look at your arm. I did sharpen the saw. No, wait, the bone doesn't need to be broken, Dr. Lucas. I can find another saw. Jesus! Joe? Joe! He's dead, Dr. Lucas! Yes, sir. You men can take him away now. For all the advancements, the medical profession still seems to be taking its guidance from medieval physicians, and with as little success. I completed my duties that morning and set off to inform our guardian, Richard Abbey, of my decision. I could not cope with the ugliness and filth of the medical profession any longer. I did not intend to become a surgeon and meant to rely on my abilities as a poet. Rely on your abilities as a poet? You must be mad. 4 months is what remains till you qualify to be a surgeon. And now you wish to throw all that away for some flight of fancy? Rely on your... By the time I was your age, I had a successful business, was married, and a freeman of the city. Rely on your abilities? How senseless! What foolishness! I forbid this, John. I do not require your permission, sir. I am 21 and am now of age to access and spend as I choose my portion of grandmother's inheritance. No, I will succeed, Mr. Abbey. I know I possess abilities greater than most men. Good day to you, sir. And now I'm finally free to do what I wish. My life's mission is decided, my destiny secured, and my medical practice finished. My life has never been so uncertain, but I shall use any doubt that may creep in to intensify my resolve to prove myself right. I pledge my dedication to the high ideals of art, truth, beauty, and imagination. It will be an era in my existence. Shortly thereafter, Charles arranged to introduce me to one of the foremost voices of our generation. Labeled a radical, he was a prolific writer of prose and verse. His true brilliance, though, lay in discovering and promoting the work of other poets through his newspaper, The Examiner. Although I would later become disillusioned with him and have strong disagreements on poetry, I cannot dispute his influence on society and art. His name? James Henry Lee Hunt. I first saw light in the village of Southgate in 1784. Due to my ill health as a child, somebody once told my mother that if I survived to the age of 15, I might turn out to possess a more than average amount of intellect, but that otherwise I stood a chance of dying an idiot. I leave it to the public as to which I became. 1808, my brother John and myself set up the Examiner. The main objects of the newspaper were to assist in producing reform in Parliament, a liberality of opinion in general, and a fusion of literary taste into all subjects whatsoever. Through my reading, I came to the conclusion that kings and princes bore a great share in the causes of many troubles plaguing the world. Since the British scepter was so unfortunately wielded at the time by the Prince Regent, the Examiner turned venomous, and the Attorney General's eye was swiftly upon the article, and we were soon before the court. I confess the article was bitter and contemptuous, yes. Therefore, in the legal sense, libelous, the more so inasmuch as it was very true. During the proceedings, we were secretly told that if we would abstain in future from commenting upon the actions of the royal personage, means would be found to prevent our going to prison. I need not add that these attempts at bribery disgusted us and were promptly declined. I accordingly put my countenance in its best trim, and wearing my best apparel, descended into the legal arena to be sentenced gallantly. The sentence of 2 years' imprisonment in separate jails and fines of £500 each was a heavy blow and a malignant insult to our love of liberty. More than a year has passed, and traces remain that haunt me from the time spent in my dungeon. But that is not for today, as I am anxiously awaiting the introduction of a talented young man whom Coden Clark is walking over. It is a wonderful world, Charles! Yes, it is! And this must be John Keats. John Keats. John Keats. John Keats. John Keats. John... I think I shall call you Junkets from now on, to commemorate the special relationship we are sure to have, yes? Are those your recent poems, Junkets? Follow me, you two. Come to the kitchen, for it has the best fireplace, and I delight in a fireside. It brings such a genial warmth to the room. Do you not agree? Mrs. Hunt and the children are out, so we shall not be interrupted. Help yourself to the fresh cakes and tea. How equable this is. I have wanted to make your acquaintance for some time, Junkets, ever since last April when you shared your poem with me. Oh, solitude, let it not be among the jumbled heap of murky buildings. Climb with me the steep nature's observatory, whence the dell, its flowery slopes, its river's crystal swell. Oh, lovely. Perhaps a little too closely aligned with the style of Mr. Wordsworth, but lovely, showing great potential. Under the right guidance, that is. I was disappointed to find no further correspondence from you, for I so desperately wished to know who this John Keats was. It didn't matter, for I decided to publish your poem anyways and hoped for a further letter, but none came. I hoped you had not died and denied me the privilege of meeting you. I must add that I think Charles here deserves a kick. Why did you not inform me you knew who this mystery poet was I was seeking, Oh, never you mind, Charles, never you mind. Let us see these poems, Junkets, for this is why you are here. May I? Oh, lovely. Very nice, very nice. Yes. Written on the day that Mr. Leigh Hunt left prison. Thank you, John Keats. I shall save that, read it, and cherish it later. Oh. And other spirits there are, standing apart upon the forehead of the age to come. These will give the world another heart and other pulses. Hear ye not the hum of mighty workings? Listen a while, ye nations, and be dumb. Your early poetry had sparks of greatness, John Keats, but this is absolutely extraordinary! Contained within are passages of such beauty, Persian kings would fill a poet's mouth with gold. I have been formulating this thought for several months. Much time has gone by since the days of Shakespeare and Milton. There have been glimpses of poets willing to take their place, but none have succeeded till now. Imagine with me a new school of poetry with an evident aspiration after real nature and original fancy, which would call to mind the finer times of the English muse. And who shall be in this group, you might ask? John Hamilton Reynolds, Shelley, and you, my friend. You three who promise to understand human nature so well will become the literary leaders of your generation. I now had absolute confidence as to what my next step would be. Compile a collection of work for publication. This I immediately set out to do, and 5 months after meeting Hunt, on the 3rd of March, 1817, my first collection entitled Poems was released. Friends! Britons! Countrymen! Lend me your ears. Mark this day. John Keats has arrived. Life has flung every impediment, yet here he stands, alive and creating. Watch as I blaze a trail to greatness you can only marvel at. I shared poems with Hunt and Hayden and received glowing reviews, and I expected this to continue. The truth is, Poems was read by some dozen of my friends who liked it, and some dozen who I was unacquainted with who did not. It was as if a pebble had dropped into a lake without a single ripple issuing forth. 6 reviews appeared, and the collection was ravaged on account of my being an uneducated and flimsy stripling, and because of my association with Hunt. I would be deluded to say it deserves to be alongside the works of Shakespeare. But I do think it has merit, if only for the fact that it enabled me to take a chance on my dream. If in 100 years it's not in print, perhaps it deserves to be forgotten. Since I won't know, I will just keep creating. Oh, goodness me, it's morning already. And it has the makings of a lovely day. Oh, I have got to finish Fanny's letter before she wakes. To my dearest girl, on the night previous, I suffered a severe hemorrhage due to my imprudently leaving off my great coat and catching cold on the ride home from the city. I think there is a core of disease in me not easy to pull out. Should this be so, I may be required to take up residence in Italy to re-establish my health. Another cold, wet, uncertain English winter could put an end to me. When Brown returns, I'll request he fetch haunted with a sweet vision as I slept of you in your shepherdess dress. How my senses ached at it. How my heart was devoted to it. How my eyes were full of tears at it. Only to awake to the sounds of you going to town again with your silly friends who no doubt dislike me and disapprove of our courtship. My head is puzzled as to why you ally yourself with such ones. You know of the lengths I have gone through with such friends as Brown, rebuking him for his words and actions towards you. In truth, he is a good sort of man, but even now I feel the effect of every one of his remarks at my side. And for that, though he has done me many services, though I know his love and friendship for me, though at this moment I should be without pence were it not for his assistances, I will never see or speak to him until we are both old men, if we are to be. Once I move out of his house. How have you passed this month? Who have you smiled with? How many things are necessary to you besides me? If you still behave at parties as I have seen, I wish this coming night be my last. You may call this talk madness, but you fail to recognize the seriousness of the situation or my feelings. Ask yourself, how many unhappy hours Keats has caused you in loneliness? I have been a martyr the whole time. If we live, we must not live as other men and women do, for I cannot brook the wolf's bane of fashion, foppery, and tattle. Be serious. Love is not a plaything. You must be mine to die upon the rack if I want you. Upon reflection, I fear I have been harsh. I do not want you to be unhappy. I wish only for you to see how unhappy I am for love of you. Should you feel I am wrong in what I have said, I shall be the most sincere of penitents. Recant all my suspicions and mingle with you heart and soul. As a token of these feelings, I am enclosing a special gift I have been working to perfection for you. Bright star, would I was steadfast as thou art, not in lone splendor hung aloft the night, and watching with eternal lids apart, like nature's patient, sleepless eremite, the moving waters at their priest-like task of pure ablution round earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft-fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. No, yet still steadfast, still unchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel forever its soft swell and fall, awake forever in a sweet unrest, still to hear her tender taken breath, and so live ever, or else swoon to death. What a wretched-looking group. I am the sick one, and yet they look miserable. Come along, Severn. Let's say our goodbyes. Good morning. Good morning. How... Severn and I would like to thank you all for seeing us off this morning, and for being so accommodating during our sojourn in London waiting to set sail. My friends, all I am able to say is... Look at your faces! Why so melancholy? Why so morose? I am not going off to die. I am going off to live. I have yearned to take in all of Europe, to write, to study, to be inspired by the kingdoms of the earth and the glory of them. Now, we are off to Italy, a land where all the arts have been perfected. I may have a bit of a chest cold, but it will soon pass. Well, are you not convinced yet? Could a dying man dance? Or could a dying man sing? Youth's the season made for joys, love is then our duty. She alone who that employs well deserves her beauty. Let's be gay while we may, beauty's a flower despised in decay. Youth's the season made for joys, love is then our duty. And above all, would a dying man leave behind the woman he loves? Rejoice, please, at our going away, and to the grand adventures we are sure to have. Oh, the ship is about to set sail. No time for long goodbyes. Farewell, and be sure to write to us, all of you. Come along, Severn. We must secure our belongings for the voyage. My God, it has been a week since we left Naples. First we were quarantined 10 days on the ship when we arrived. Then we had to contend with Naples, which was noisy, squalid, and under military rule. And now we have this journey with its villainously coarse food, accommodation, horribly slow speed. Oh, I swear we hit every rock. As if that weren't bad enough, there is the unceasing boredom. Still, I have a remarkable traveling companion in Joseph Severn, who left his family and painting career for me. He tries so hard to make things easy. Keats! Keats! If you give a little jump when the carriage hits something, you can really fly. Watch! No? All right. What an unusually fine day! For having such filthy villages, the Italian scenery is lovely and full of life. Keats, Keats, you have goats, livestock, water buffalo, and sheep all grazing about. That's at least 5 good poems from that view alone. Oh, Keats, Keats, look! I've got a surprise for you. Happier now? I thought you would appreciate a shower of natural beauty. There's another poem for you. To the fool who threw wild flowers in my face. That's a bestseller, surely. Oh, Keats, Keats, look! I have been practicing. I'm getting better, Keats. I'm getting better. I don't see why we have to speak of unpleasant things all the time. Seems that you recall nothing else about the voyage over. All you dwell on is how awful the voyage was, or on your homesickness, or on how wretched your illness is. I agree with you, but must we keep speaking of it? Let us dwell instead on the sights and experiences before us in Rome. We just passed the Aurelian War, which means we are almost there. Come on, kids! If our outlook is positive, the rest of our trip will be too. And once we arrive, you can rest and start feeling better. You're just tired, that's all. Oh, how about I read to you? Oh, no matter if you fall asleep, that's all right. Here. In the 2nd century of the Christian era, the Empire of Rome comprehended the entire part of the known world. Oh, my, this is rather nice. My room. Oh, Severn, come. We can see the steps outside my window. So what do you think of it? It is expensive, but considering its location and the fact that Dr. Clark resides across the street, I think it's worth it. And I love the beauty and busyness of the area, with its strange-looking fountain, flower cellars, carriages for hire, socializing throngs, and look, artist models keen to shed their clothes for you to paint, Severn. Oh, right. I am the sick one, remember. Come, let's unpack so we can walk around a little before Dr. Clark returns to inspect me. Yes, I will be fine. like Dr. Clark has stocked a good mixture of books for us. What do we have here? Oh, Robert Burns, very good. There are now 2 known copies of Endymion in Italy. Besides these, I also know of one on a camel's back in the plains of Egypt with Ritchie, and another in the wilds of America with George. Who knew a book of such little consequence would travel like it has? I still recall the day my first epic poem, Endymion, was released. I was walking home when suddenly I came across... Hunt! Shelley! How are you both? I am quite well. Very occupied of late, but well. Oh, I see you both have copies of Endymion. Would you take a few moments and share with me your thoughts? Why write an epic poem? Do not the lovers of poetry like to have a little region to wander in, and in which images are so numerous, many are forgotten and found anew in a second reading? This seems to have been forgotten as a poetical excellence, but I view it as the polar star of poetry. Take any of the mighty dead, and their greatness is always manifest in the epic. True, Shelley, but their shorter pieces are not known to the same extent. You could ask anyone. Excuse me, sir. If I said John Milton, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? What's the first poem? He knows, Shelley, it's all right. Paradise Lost! Thank you, sir. He said it very quietly, Shelley. He's very quiet. Yes, Shelley. Yes, Shelley, Shakespeare's sonnets are well known, but not like Hamlet or King Lear. The conversation in Endymion is unnatural. Oh, you think the characters should talk simply since they are country people. It's an epic, Hunt. It's art. Why can't they speak in a heightened form? Prove that Caliban's poetry is unnatural then. I beg your pardon, Shakespeare is overinformed with thought? A superabundance of wit and intelligence? How is that wrong? And I beg your pardon, Shelley, did I hear you right? Did you say you liked Endymion? What did you like about it? Oh. Yes? Well, thank you for your kind words, but first, I did not choose this particular story over a biblical one out of spite for Christianity. And as to the theme, it is not about fleeing earthly things to attain salvation. The moon goddess Cynthia rewards the shepherd Endymion only after he accepts and embraces his earthly love for the maiden. Don't you see, Shelley? Oh, come. Come, both of you. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. Beauty is truth. Truth, beauty. What is more simple and beautiful than this? Once you cherish the simple and transient things of this world, be it the encompassing and profound love of a woman, or something as small and seemingly insignificant as this flower, you attain a higher state of being, an ideal love that even the gods are jealous of, Shelley. Hunt, really? Then show me. Should like to see these. No. Hunt, you must let the work breathe and grow, sometimes out of control, to impart the intensity of the... Yes, intensity. The excellence of every art is its intensity. Oh, this leads me to my 3 axioms of poetry, you two. First, poetry should surprise by a fine excess and not by singularity. It should strike the reader as a wording of his own highest thoughts and appear almost as a remembrance. Second, its touches of beauty should never be halfway, thereby making the reader breathless instead of content. Of course, it is so much easier to think what poetry should be than to write it, and this leads me to the third. If poetry comes not as naturally as the leaves to a tree, it had better not come at all. Until you learn to appreciate longer poems, Hunt, the value and comprehension of them will always escape you, and that is your failing as a poet, my friend. I don't care. I have never written with the least shadow of public thought. And as for the reviewers, did either of you read Croker's critique in the Quarterly Review? The fool stated in the second sentence that he had never read Endymion, but pronounced it rubbish. Why? Because I'm a disciple of the Cockney School, with you as the headmaster, Hunt. So don't you dare equate bad reviews and poor sales as evidence of weak poetry. Our association has damned me in the press because of your politics, Hunt. Well, it's been a joy, but I have an appointment with Hayden. Good day to you both. I was never afraid of failure, for I would sooner fail than not be among the greatest. You want to hear about Ben Nevis again, little brother? All right. Imagine the task of mounting 10 St. Paul's without the convenience of staircases, and you shall have a vague conception of what it was like for Brown and I to climb the highest mountain in Great Britain. The whole immense head is composed of large loose stones for thousands of acres. One must be constantly adapting oneself as to how you get across them without being injured. Oh, Tom, I forgot to tell you. There was one, Mrs. Cameron, of 50 years of age, and the fattest woman in all Inverness-shire who got up this mountain some few years ago. True, she did have her servants, but she also had herself and all that. Oh, Tom, I'm sorry, I did not mean to make you cough. All right, bring it up, but carefully. Remember, the harder you cough, the more you hemorrhage. Try and keep it in. Restrain yourself from coughing. Here. Have a little bit of water. But don't choke. Better? Good. After such an attack, rest is the best remedy to help recover your weakened constitution. So I shall read you to sleep. Tom, stop with the goodbyes and thank yous every time you're about to sleep. I am not going to let you give up, so stop wasting your energy on sentiment. You always were, Sap. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. No arguing. I'm right because I'm oldest. Move over, Tom. All right, what shall we read? But I've told you that one many times as well. Well, all right. There was a naughty boy, and a naughty boy was he. He kept little fishes in washing tubs 3, in spite of the might of the maid, nor afraid of his granny good. He would often hurly-burly get up early and go by hook or crook to the brook, And there he would bring home miller's thumb, tittlebat, not over fat, minnows small as the stole of a glove, not above the size of a nice little baby's little finger. Oh, he made, 'twas his trade, of fish a pretty kettle. A kettle of fish, a pretty kettle, a kettle. There was a naughty boy, and a naughty boy was he. He ran away to Scotland, the people for to see. There he found that the ground was as hard, that a yard was as long, that a song was as merry, that a cherry was as red, that lead was as weighty, that fourscore was as 80, that a door was as wooden as in England. So he stood in his shoes, and he wondered. He wondered. He stood in his shoes, and he wondered. Tom? Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels see thee to thy rest. I did not speak of Tom's death to horrify you, Severn, but fortify you for what may come. But before I continue, I should like to know, are you here to stay? I will not think any less of you if you do not. You cannot have known that this excursion would conscript you into becoming a caregiver. So if you wish to leave, then go, my friend. No, Dr. Clark will find someone to care for me. It will be... Oh, thank you, Joseph. Thank you for remaining at my side. Thank you very much. Shall we continue? If I should die, all of Fanny's gifts are to be buried with me. Her letters are to be buried inside my coat, on top of my heart. The cornelian stone should be in one hand, and our engagement ring in the other. And I should like something engraved. Here lies one whose name was writ in water. Nothing else is to be engraved on my tombstone, Severn, not even my name. Here lies one whose name was writ in water. Those are my wishes. Will you carry these out should you need to? Good boy. Oh, fresh flowers. Miss Egletti must have brought them in. Do you think on home much, Severn? You have quite a large family, do you not? Oh, I'm glad you have such fond memories of home. Don't ask, Severn, please. Because the thought of leaving Miss Braun is beyond everything horrible. Everything I have of hers in my trunks goes through me like a spear. The silk lining she put in my traveling cap scalds my head. And my imagination is horribly vivid about her. I look out the window and I swear I see her. I hear her. There is nothing of sufficient interest to divert me from her for a moment. This was the case when I was in England. I should have had her when I was in England, Severn. Then I would have remained well. Where is the laudanum? When we left England, the medicine box was full. And now there is a suspicious absence of a particular liquid. You don't know anything about that. Severn, this disease will be tenfold worse than I described, so I would like the laudanum returned. Please, Severn, I will not use it until things become unbearable. Please, Severn, yes! Yes, Severn! Well, where is it then? You gave it to Dr. Clark. Thank you, Joseph. I am destined for every torment in this world. Thank you. Get your hand. Why don't you go downstairs and see about the food? Thank you, Joseph.
John. My beloved John. John.
To my beloved John.
May this letter find you well, and
in
in
a
much
much
improved state of health. Can you believe it has only been 3 months? It feels like an eternity. Christmas of 1820 is here. Lately, I've enjoyed sewing gifts for the family. This favorite pastime has always provided me with hours of contentment, enjoyment for my family, and even a little money. My pesky little brother always sneaks around to see what his present will be. I must always sew behind a locked door to ensure each project is hidden well.
Can you blame him?
Once or twice, we have heard of slight accounts. Yesterday, we were told of a letter from your physician, which said you did not get better or worse. But am I to conceal from myself that with you, not getting better is getting worse? In another letter, Mr. Severn said he felt hope and thinks he shall bring you home. Surely that is saying a great deal. Yet the reason he gives for that hope destroys it. Namely, for the last 3 days, you'd been calm and resigned yourself to die.
Severn!
Good God!
Tell her
Is it to be born that you, one from everything good and I dare say great, that you now give up your life and happiness to die? I am sure nothing during this long illness has hurt me so much.
My mind keeps returning to August of last summer, when you resided with me and my family.
Those few weeks before you left
for
Italy.
Italy.
How grateful we were to your mother for inviting you to stay. If those weeks were the happiest of my life, Wednesday, the 13th of September, was the worst.
I could not sleep.
I crept to your room and peered through the crack of the door. You were also awake,
staring at the ceiling and in deep thought.
I bashfully opened the door and you said,
"Come here, my love."
I lay beside you with my head on your chest. We barely spoke. Why was that, John? I feared I would cry oceans if I said too much. Did you feel likewise? Those last moments were intolerable. I latched onto you as if to attach some part to me through sheer force. I prayed you would change your mind, but you let go before I did. The lump in my throat was so large I could barely swallow. You touched my face and said,
I love you, Fanny.
I summoned all my strength to glimpse you one last time, standing on the side of the carriage, waving, before it rounded the corner and you were gone.
The pain
was so sharp and my sobs so violent.
I felt like Imogen watching a beloved posthumous depart for Italy.
I would have broke mine eye strings, cracked them, to lick upon him till the diminution of space had pointed him sharp as my needle. Nay, followed him till he melted to the smallness of a gnat to air, and then have turned mine eye and wept.
Well, how are you, my little night songstress? You shouldn't be here this time of year. Have you lost your way? My heart aches, and a drowsy numbness pains my senses, though of hemlock I had drunk, or emptied some dull opiate to the drains 1 minute past and the Lethe wards had sunk. Did not through envy of thy happy lot, but being too happy in thy happiness, that thou, light-winged dryad of the trees, in some melodious plot of beech and green and shadows numberless, singest of summer in full-throated ease. Oh, for a draught of that vintage that hath been cooled a long age in the deep delved earth, tasting of flora and the country green, dance and provincial song and sunburnt mirth. Oh, for a beaker full of the warm south, full of the true, the blushful hippocrene, with beaded bubbles winking at the brim and purple-stained mouth, that I might drink and leave the world unseen, and with thee fade away into the forest dim. Fade far away, dissolve and quite forget what thou amongst the leaves hast never known, the weariness, the fever, and the fret. Here where men sit and hear each other groan, where palsy shakes a few sad lost gray hairs, where youth grows pale and spectre thin and dies. It were but to think is to be full of sorrow and leaden-eyed despairs, where beauty cannot keep her lustrous eyes, or new love pineth them beyond tomorrow. Away, away, for I will fly to thee, not charioted by Bacchus and his pards, but on the viewless wings of poesy, though the dull brain perplexes and retards. Already with thee, tender is the night, and haply the queen moon is on her throne, clustered around by all her starry fays. But here there is no light, save what from the heavens is with the breezes blown through verdurous glooms and winding mossy ways. Oh, darkling, I listen, and for many a time I have been half in love with easeful death, called him soft names in many a mused rhyme to take into the air my quiet breath. Oh, now more than ever seems it rich to die, to cease upon the midnight with no pain. While thou art pouring forth thy soul abroad in such an ecstasy, still wouldst thou sing, and I have ears in vain, to thy high requiem become a sod. Thou wast not born for death, immortal bird. No hungry generations tread thee down. The voice I hear this passing night was heard in ancient days by emperor and clown. Perhaps the self-same song that found a path through the sad heart of Ruth, when sick for home she stood in tears amid the alien corn. The same that oft times hath charmed magic casements opening on the foam of perilous seas and fairy lands forlorn. Forlorn. The very word is like a bell to toll me back from thee to my sole self. Adieu. The fancy cannot cheat so well as she is famed to do, deceiving elf. Adieu. Adieu! Thy plaintive anthem fades. Past the near meadows, over the still streams, up the hillside, and now 'tis buried deep in the next valley glades. Was it a vision or a waking dream? What is that music? Do I wake or sleep?